What's up? This is Phil, and it's Sunday. And I haven't filmed for a while. I have several recordings and things like that, but it's been quite busy because part of the reason is this past week I've been in Arizona, and I recently returned yesterday. Arrived here at the apartment around 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So, just as a preface to kind of understand how my schedule went as I stayed in Arizona, was that I kept my Eastern Time schedule, so attempted at least to get up at 4 a.m. Arizona time, which is 7 o'clock here, and sometimes earlier. But as the week progressed, to be honest, I stayed up a little bit later to spend time with my family and just kind of talk with them all night. Part of the reason for that is because we don't see each other too often, but I went out there for personal reasons, and one of the benefits of being able to work remotely is to be able to complete tasks while I'm on the road. Now, with that being said, my family members are a good majority of them are Filipino, and as you know, if you're familiar with a lot of Asian cultures, one of the staples of their diet is carbohydrates in the form of either noodles or rice, more specifically rice. So that was one of the things I actually avoided as much as I could. But I also, don't want to disappoint family members, especially since they stayed up all night or worked and then cooked meals. So I actually did have a lot of Filipino food. Definitely broke keto, but I don't think it was that bad. I feel that maybe at most at any given time, I was eating a lot of. I was eating carbohydrates, but I wasn't going over a certain limit, and I wasn't counting macros or anything like that. Just from basically looking at the portions of food, I would assume that I ate maybe 500 calories or 500 grams of a particular item, and got the necessary carbohydrates. I didn't gain that much weight. So when I got back here, this is after eating dinner at a restaurant, just bacon, hamburger, vegetables, and what's it called? Brussels sprouts, cooked with olive oil. I came back home and I still weighed, last night with clothes on, I weighed like 156, 157. So that wasn't out of the question because, I stand on the scale without any clothes on. I'm probably close to 155, and that's after drinking a lot of water throughout the day, because in Arizona you do have to consume a lot more fluids, because it is a dry heat and you might not recognize that you might be dehydrated. So that was a key aspect of it. But the reason why I bring that up in regards to my weight, because today, after doing my bathroom business, I weighed about 153. So I didn't go up much in weight at all since eating there. And a key point that I wanted to bring up is that, so I told my aunts the types of oils that I use for cooking or eating, and some of the olive oil or extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil, and soy based oil, canola, vegetable oil. So those are the ones that I don't use, um, and and that's what they use to cook with. So it wasn't that I was gonna avoid those, and uh, I wasn't gonna avoid not eating with the family. Although throughout the week I would limit the amount of carbs. So in many instances, even though they were using canola oil, vegetable oil, etc., um, it didn't affect the way I was eating, because my family members were cognizant of what my dietary restrictions were. So potatoes, carrots, those things I weren't eating, and they were happy to give me food. I think a little too much. So in certain instances, I would get like um, New York New York steaks, two pieces with tons and tons of vegetables, with balsamic vinegar, and that was like an everyday occurrence for breakfast, and, or I should say, lunch and dinner. So I would get up at 4, start my day about a half an hour later, and then by the time that they woke up to have breakfast, for me it was already lunchtime. So it actually worked out quite well as far as how I eat during the course of the day. So I still maintain my afternoon, because by 9:30 to me that was lunchtime. 10:30, 11:30, 12:30, so lunchtime. And then when they were eating lunch is actually when I had dinner, so around 1 o'clock. So you go 3 hours ahead. I'm at my dinner schedule, and in between that I would do some exercising. So, and today I went for a run. So a long preface there in regards to getting to the point of this whole video. So I went for a run today, and half an hour before, I had these snacks that I received on United Airlines. It's not sponsored, but this is underground chocolate covered quinoa, and it's about 30 calories and 1 gram of sugar for this small packet. I had 3 of these, so that was 90 calories. And I can tell you what, after eating it and then going for a run, I felt a lot of phlegm kind of growing in my sinuses, and that could just be the change of weather. I haven't been sleeping much since I was there. Maybe at most I was getting 4 to 5 hours of sleep, and part of that was just trying to maintain the schedule for here on the East Coast, so that when I returned, I wouldn't be struggling to keep up with my routine in the East Coast, especially since it's 3 hours ahead, at least time zone wise. And the run itself felt kind of normal. I did feel like I had quite a bit of energy, but I think I could attribute that to eating a lot. And throughout the week, I kid you not, I was probably eating a pound, maybe 2 pounds worth of bacon within the last 4 days. I even had bacon for my last dinner at the airport with a hamburger. So I was a little nervous about running because I haven't ran for 2 weeks. But I have to say that today, the only major aspect that I think I struggled with was, breathing was a little bit difficult, but it's more like difficult because I haven't ran in 2 weeks, and the energy level stayed the same, and I had the strength. The only major issue was just the breathing, but otherwise it didn't really feel like I was struggling all that much. So that's a good thing, because I think it's safe to assume that maybe if I ate that much bacon, there was a lot of fat. I mean, there was one day my aunt put, I don't know, must have been 6 or 7 sausages, breakfast sausages, I mean the big ones, on my plate, and I didn't even eat all of them. I ate 3 of them, and that was with bacon. That was with a huge omelet, I think, with maybe like 4 eggs and a salad. So yeah, it was a lot of food. So I was a little nervous, but I maintained exercise, did my normal strength training. So I did my minimum 2 to 3 weeks, 2 to 3 times a week, exercise major muscles. My uncle has a gazebo. They have a gazebo outside, so I was able to do my pull-ups, which was great. 2 sets of 30. I think the first set I did 35, so that was pretty good. I filmed that too. I should probably post that. And yeah, so eating the bacon didn't really affect my running. How my body actually is, that could be a different story internally, but I can tell you I feel great. The only other major issue with the different types of eating, I got a little rash on my leg, but that could also be attributed to something else, like maybe I touched something, or a bug bit me. I did have a few bug bites. Don't know what they were, but there were some bug bites on my arm. So, different environment, and the main goal there was to spend time with the family members, which was, to me, amazing. It was fun. I didn't go sightseeing, but that wasn't my goal. That wasn't the reason why I went out there. I went out there to, see my uncle, see my aunt, see my cousins, see my aunts and uncles, and my cousins and my nieces and nephews, and yeah, that was it. That was the best part of it, and being able to eat and whatnot. And although I basically stayed in most of the time and went, help them out with grocery shopping, or do some errands, but felt incredibly blessed to be able to spend time with them, and now I'm back home, back to the normal routine. I think maybe try to be a little more consistent about, getting a hold of family members and whatnot. But otherwise, as far as the keto diet goes, I mean, not every situation is gonna be perfect, and it's one of those, like, if you're going to be hanging out with people, my personal view is that, you can restrict what you eat, because you might be strict about your diet, but I don't think a few days of eating, a little bit outside of that is really going to affect, the results of a long-term goal, and that's essentially, you know if you're targeting improving your health, every once in a while it's good to relax a little bit and kind of expose, the body and the system to just a different fuel type. And although it might, for the short term, might not be the best solution. And keep in mind too, like, even while I was out there, I actually had issues with breaking out with pimples, but that could also be a contribution of stress and other factors. But maybe I ate a little too much, fatty foods. But it wasn't going to prevent me from, you know, uh, being grateful for just even having those types of meals, and then more importantly, just spending that time with family members. And on top of that, they understood, or because they were new to the diet, they still, was graciously, customizing what they were cooking, um, to allow me to eat the way that I like, that I'm doing. So, I don't think you should, in my opinion, it's okay to take a break from some of this stuff. And, it wasn't like I was fully taking a break. And a combination of exercising regularly will help equalize that. And if you gain a few pounds because you ate a little bit differently, that's, to me, is just a little bit worth, it's a small price to pay to really have, a wonderful time with, people you care about. So that's it. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and I'll catch you guys later.